Okay, are you ready for this? We're going to talk today about the correct way to connect. The correct to connect. And I want to really emphasize, this might be the most important video that I've ever done. And I mean, I think all my videos are important, but you know, ego aside, and I don't say that with any arrogance. I did not wake up one day and just invent all the things. I have studied masters. I stand on the shoulders of masters, right, as the saying goes. So I have studied masters, old and new, you know, just all over the place, from all ends of the earth, and distill it with my unique flavor and opinion. But it's all the same stuff that's been being taught since the beginning of time. I mean, when we look at universal principles, those go back to, and I cannot say his last name, Hermes, with a long last name with a T. And now we have 12 universal laws, but Hermes had 7 universal principles. And that's where everyone like Bob Proctor was teaching everything's vibration. It's where all the teachers got that information. I mean, I'm talking, you know, the old ones and the new ones. So I didn't invent, I'm just a messenger, just like all the other teachers. But this one is important because I believe with all my heart that not connecting to the quantum correctly is the one thing that stands in your way of proper manifestation. I'm not going to go into the manifestation process. This video is just going to be about the correct way to connect. Correct. Connect. Okay. First of all, we cannot connect to the quantum field when we are in a busy beta brainwave. That's number one. Can't do it. Number two, we cannot connect with the quantum field from our left brain. Number two, beta brainwaves are stressed and we are constantly in communication with our external reality, or our 5-sense self, as I call it, because ultimate manifestation is going to require that you get bigger than your senses. So busy beta brainwave, no go. Left brain thinking, we need this when we're surviving in this realm and we're living in this realm, but to connect to the quantum, not so much. And the third thing is your biochemistry cannot connect with the quantum when it is in stress, cortisol, adrenaline. Okay, so those 3 factors are everything. Now, I'm going to take a side, and I'm going to mention something in my new book, which is not out yet, The Superconscious Solution, which will be out this summer. It's in final edits and formatting right now. But in it, I have a little chapter before the daily practices, which the daily practice is all about connecting to the quantum. And it's my John Wick chapter. I can't remember what I named it, but something about John Wick. Why John Wick? I should do a whole video on that. But ultimately, John Wick, or any super character, and this goes for bad guys too. I'm not advocating bad guys. I'm not advocating you be a bad guy. But it is the attractive quality that Buddha had been trying to teach us for years. And it's about calmness. You don't see John Wick going, oh my God, what am I going to do now? They killed my dog. He gets mad and he gets even, but he does it from a perspective of calm centeredness. And you know what that means? That means that he has a balanced brain. He is not all left brain. You can't be all right brain either when in your waking hours, because when you're right brain, that's how you connect with the quantum. But when you're right brained and that's it, you're just going to be like, might as well be on a plant medicine journey or with headphones on meditating. You can't be all right brained in the physical world. And this is where the challenge comes. When we're in our waking world, though, we want to be John Wick calm. What the Buddha said, don't judge something as good or bad, just be. Nothing is good or bad. It's our perspective of it, right? It's our perspective and the way that we see things. That's all it is. And I want, not to go off on a different tangent, but I want to remind you that all the things that are holding you back right now, your mental stuff that is blocking you, that's keeping you from doing a Facebook Live or calling a prospect or taking a chance or going up to that stranger and seeing if he or she wants to have coffee, all of those things, from going and applying for a home loan, all of those things that you resist and procrastinate and are fearful of, all of those things, you're addressing your too linear and left brain high beta brainwave. So you're not tapping into the center calmness. And I want to tell you one more thing about that. The things that hold you back, that you are blocked by, we think it's beliefs. Like, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, my mom didn't want me, my dad thought I was dumb. All of those ideas, even if you were abused, where it was like to the average person, it would appear, yeah, that was an abusive parent. It doesn't matter when it comes to forming your beliefs. Those are all there based on the meaning that you gave the situation. And when you were really small in your little theta brainwaves, being like a sponge, absorbing everything, you were not mature enough. You did not have the mental faculties. Your frontal lobe was not created. It wasn't matured. So it couldn't say, wow, Dad, you need therapy. Everything was about you. And so your interpretation was, wow, I must be bad, or I must not be lovable, or I must not be worthy, or mom doesn't like me. And so those meanings that you gave it have been running your life, because those meanings are still in your subconscious. You get that? That was a tangent, but I really want to make sure you understand that, because we assign meaning to things and we think we're doing it from a logical, well-educated, well-informed perspective, but we're not. We're passing our judgments and our opinions on past images, little movie clips from our subconscious mind that we don't even know are there. Nothing is bad and nothing is good. It just is. And the sooner that, and like in my coaching, we collapse. We bring these ideas up and we use, neuroscience and remyelination and gamma bursts and disruptions to really get a handle on those mistaken identities. So it's not really about changing a belief, it's updating your identity. That makes sense? Okay. With that said, now, when you are in your third dimension reality and you're working every day and you're doing your thing, your goal should be to be more like John Wick. And I don't mean, pack a firearm. I'm talking about John Wick as a character who represents the perfect epitome, forgetting the murder and, being a hitman stuff, the perfect epitome of a balanced brain, being non-reactive. That's what the Buddha always said, non-reactivity. That is the key to happiness, non-reactivity. When you can manage that, then you're not a slave to your five senses. Okay? You see things and you respond to them, but you take logical, you make logical decisions. Do you know almost, I don't know what the odds are. Is it something like 90% of small businesses fail? Even if you're a sole entrepreneur, like I teach a lot of people in real estate or small business owners that have like maybe 1 or 2 employees. 90% of businesses, new businesses, especially small ones, fail. And it's not because of a bad business idea. And if you don't believe me, you can do a search and you will find literally, I used to be in a coaching program, a high-end coaching program, where there was a dude, and I'm not even lying, who was making $30,000, $40,000 a month, teaching people how to do handstands via Zoom. not even in a studio. It's not about the kind of business. It's about your ability to make wise decisions. And in a world full of stress, there's a lot of people out there who are making decisions based on old mental stories that they don't even know are replaying in their brain, and emotional mismanagement. They see something, it reminds them of something, they have an emotional reaction, their prefrontal cortex shrinks in capacity, that's a fact, and now they're making a poor choice, a poor decision, and the business goes under. It is a fact. So if you think about it, and I can apply this all day long to health. This isn't a health video, but it has everything to do with your health, your relationships, and of course your business, and that's what I focus on. But it has everything to do with every area of your life, guaranteed. All right? So when you are awake and conscious, breathing consciously in your third dimension reality, the more you can operate from a calm mind and a calm center, collapse all that old stuff, which is not that hard to do, and take control of your emotions. And there's so many tools for that now. That's when you can operate in the third dimension and be okay. Now, back to talking about the correct way to connect. So if we don't want busy beta, we don't want left brain, and we don't want the chemicals of stress in our waking hours, when we're connecting to the quantum, we're doing the polar opposite of all three of those. We're entering, first of all, we're going from beta brainwave to alpha brainwave, relaxing our brainwave. And you know what the easiest way to do this, and there's such great technology out there now, I have some really top quality binaural beats that I use in my coaching programs for my clients, both guided and just plain music that I recommend that they put headphones on and they listen to, 1, 2, 3 times a day, when you get up in the morning, when you go to bed at night, and definitely, at least 15, 20 minutes while you're working at your desk. That's going to help with the John Wick thing, okay? But when you are connecting to the quantum, you absolutely need to pull up alpha, put beta away. Alpha is where you have the gateway to enter the right brain. So when you're in high beta, you're all sensory focused, left brain, linear. It's all that. It's physical, whatever's here. I'm dealing with that, matter to matter. When you can relax that brainwave and you're in alpha state, now you just open the trap door and you can step into the right brain hemisphere. The TED talk by 𝒔𝒊𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒂, the neuroscience, my stroke of luck years ago, talked about, because she was very left brain before, and she talked about when she had a stroke and she just went all the way into her right brain, and this feeling of unity and oneness and beautiful. And we're cutting ourselves off from that when all we think is that this is the 3D, here's what I have, whatever I can smell, touch, taste, hear, this is it. And I'm reacting to all of it, and now I'm stressed. That's no way to live. So we close all that off, and now we're in the right brain hemisphere. And now we imagine. We either imagine the desires we have, or we just sink into the essence of the beauty of life. Whatever floats your boat. And then that brings the third thing, because you cannot feel positive, heartfelt emotions when you have stress. You're not going to feel when you have stress, beta, left brain. But as you segue into this side, the wild side, the fun side, the blue pill, or the red pill, I forget which one Neo took. See, he did that in Neo too. Keanu Reeves did that, not just in John Wick, but Neo, he was kind of like that too. Anyway, when you're in that realm and you see what you want, or you feel the essence of what you want, now your biochemistry is going to be conducive to serotonin and neo, I forget the name of it, neo, I said neo again, 𝒑𝒓𝒆𝒏𝒅𝒔, something like that, dopamine, oxytocin, all these positive healing chemicals. So when you're connecting with a quantum, just to be really clear on this, you're in an alpha brainwave, you're operating in your right brain, and your chemistry is joyful, happy, healing hormones. Your emotions. When we relate to our five senses, we're only going to see the five senses. And so, in a way, one of my mentors said, it's nonsense. You want to go into the nonsense. No senses. You want to be here for your connection. And what I have found equally as important is when you come out of your connection with the quantum. You don't want to sever the gateway. You don't want to shut the gate completely. You want to remain, as Jesus said, with a foot, be in the world, but not of it. So you want one foot in the third dimension, but you want to keep that other foot in the quantum realm. And that's where the John Wick analogy comes in. You want to keep a little bit of alpha in your day. You want to keep a little bit of right brain imagination in your day. And you want to keep those happy hormones in your day. And as you do that, you begin to be bulletproof. You begin to be a master of whatever endeavor you undertake. You begin to control your destiny, and you begin to create your destiny. Does that make sense? Hope you found this helpful. Do the work. It's not that hard. The distractions are what make it hard. So close off of your senses, reduce your brainwave, open up your imagination, and feel good about it. And just watch how fast things change. If you would like to have a conversation about coaching or want to check out one of my programs, I have the new 4 Waves of Wealth. It's pre-recorded. It's super cheap, and it might help you. Okay. Have a great day. Bye-bye.